Is Korea safe for women? Is Korea safe for foreigners? Is Korea safe for gay people? Am I gonna get my stuff stolen? Pickpocketing, burglaries, assault, murders, knife crime, gun crime, fraud, theft. Hello gorgeous girlies, if you do or do not know, my name is Alex and I'm currently here in South Korea. So I thought I would make this video to talk all about things safety in South Korea. I've had many questions about whether Korea is safe or not, whether it's accepting for foreigners, whether it's safe for women, whether it's safe for solo travelers. And in this video, I'm just going to discuss all these things, whether you're likely to get assaulted, whether you're likely to get murdered, whether the chance of a nuclear breakout is an impending doom to destroy the cataclysmic destruction of the earth and humanity as we know it. Okay, I'm not going to go that far. And in this video, I'm just going to talk about how personally safe that I feel. And I've also spoke to my friends about how they feel when in Korea. And everybody that I've spoke to are from different backgrounds, so it gives a good perspective of what life is truly like here in Korea. And as always, if you like this kind of content, make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe, as I post videos every single week documenting my journey here in South Korea. So without further ado, let's get started with safety in South Korea. Let's go. One of the main differences between South Korea and other places like the UK or America, for example, it's very much like a everyone looks after each other kind of society. Whereas in America or the UK, it's very much like individualistic and no one really cares for each other. Okay, maybe that's just my opinion, but if you do move to South Korea or you are visiting South Korea, you'll definitely see a complete contrast in cultures over here. So like I said, this video is about my personal experience and how I have found South Korea in terms of safety. And the general overarching theme is that South Korea is a very safe country. I personally feel like it's one of the safest, if not the safest country that I've ever visited. I can comfortably say that I will gladly walk around the streets at night by myself at like 3 o'clock in the morning. I can comfortably say that I leave all my laptop, my phone on the side in a coffee shop if I'm about to go to the toilet. And I can also comfortably say that I am not really afraid of getting like mugged or kidnapped or anything stolen off me. And before I go any deeper with this video, like I don't want to tarnish South Korea that like crime does not happen, because like everywhere in the world, crime does happen in South Korea. But for the most part, if it does happen, it's very small crimes. It's very much like petty crimes. But like I said, this rarely happens, and when it does, it's only going to be really small crimes. And over here in South Korea, there is a huge proportion of CCTV cameras everywhere. Like I have many in my apartment building. They are all over the streets, they're all over the supermarkets, and crime rates are very, very low. And you can comfortably walk around a street late at night, whether you're a foreigner, whether you're a woman, and not risk or not even be worried about being followed home or getting stabbed or getting mugged or anything like that. And a lot of my female friends have also agreed with me with this, and they feel very comfortable walking around the streets, especially being a woman alone. But this goes without saying, if you are from like a Western culture, you might come over here with different expectations. So obviously, if you use your common sense, like make sure things are locked up, make sure you have your zip pockets, and make sure you are cautious as well. Because like I said, there are also like bad areas of Seoul, there are also bad areas of Korea, but in the general, it is very safe. And as much as I discussed earlier, how everybody is kind of in it for everybody else, there is like a large bystander culture over here. So if something was to happen, so for example, say if you were being confronted by someone that you don't want to be spoken to, or you feel a bit uncomfortable, like sat on a bench and someone comes up to you and you feel a bit uncomfortable, bystander culture is kind of real over here, and not many people are going to really say anything. Most people are just going to watch, most people are either going to just walk past, and there is very few people that would actually come up and say something if you were in trouble. And also I found this with like road traffic accidents as well. So I've seen a couple of road traffic accidents over here because road safety isn't that good, I'm not gonna lie to you. However, people just tend to like drive past, or I saw like this incident, there was at a crossroad and there was a cyclist and a taxi, and the taxi went into the cyclist and the cyclist was okay, but the taxi like drove off like halfway down the road only to realise, actually wait, I should stop. But the vast crowd that gathered around, I was just like, what is going on? Like I was at the bus stop, so I couldn't really move. But just seeing all like the Ajumas like running, I was just like, whoa, what is going on here? And obviously that happens where I'm from in the UK as well. However, I feel like in Korea, it's very much like I feel like Koreans can be quite like nosy, and that's not a bad thing, that's not a good thing, that's just the way that they are. However, if they ever want to get into confrontation, that's not really a thing that they're going to do. And also, I found over here in Korea, fraud is also kind of a thing that you've got to be careful with. So when I was setting my phone contract, I am not even joking, like I'm not even exaggerating. I get at least 20 spam calls or text messages a day. And obviously, I'm not the type of person, I'm not going to click on them, I'm not going to click on a link that's been sent to me or all these things that are popping up on my phone. However, if you aren't like the most smartest person, you could easily click on these links, you could easily put in your bank details, you could easily give money to whoever knows where this money's going. And like back in the UK, that just didn't happen to me. Like you could set spam filters on your phone, but over here, like as much as spam filters are a thing, like I cannot get these spam people to stop calling me. Like I'll be in the middle of class with my phone on do not disturb, or even sometimes like silent, and I'm just like, how are you finding my number? That is one thing that is very different over here. Fraudulent or spam calls, just keep that in mind. It kind of goes along with safety as well, so yeah. And while Korea is a very safe country in general, please don't be complacent. Like I've many times just like left my apartment like with the door open or the window open. I've left it open all day, and I feel very comfortable knowing that my things aren't going to get stolen. And over here, like keys aren't really a thing, so we don't have keys for our doors. We have like a keypad and everything, but me being me, like I will always double check that it's locked and everything just to be sure. Oh, and also another thing I noticed over here in terms of safety, so loads of people have bikes, like bikes are absolutely everywhere, and you will see like kids just like leaving them on the side of the road or leaving them on the park or something, going off to play for a couple of hours, coming back and knowing that bike will be there. If that happened in the UK, oh my god, the bike would be gone in 2 seconds flat, halfway around the country, like it'll be gone. Or for example, you'd have delivery drivers that would leave their motorcycles on, go into the shop to get their delivery or something for 5 minutes, come back, their bike is still there. And that would never happen in the UK. Like people would have stole that motorbike. And as much as people leave bicycles like on the side of the road or just somewhere if they want to like pop into a shop or anything, even if they do lock the bike up, it's crazy because most people actually like leave their key in the lock or they keep it very close by, and this is just wild. Also, another thing I've only recently just realised, and this would never happen back in the UK. So say if you were going to a bar, so say you were driving to a bar, obviously you can have a couple of drinkies, and driving drunk is not okay. At the same time, you can't drive, but you kind of want your car to be there for you in the morning when you wake up. So what can you do? You've got a couple of options. You can either call a friend so they can come and pick you up, they can drive you home in your car and you'll be absolutely fine. You can stay out all night and wait until the alcohol wears off. You can just not drink for the night and safely drive back home. But no, in Korea, this is wild. So if you've had one too many drinks and you're over the limit, on Kakao Taxi, you can actually order a person to drive you home in your car. So it's like a taxi service, but you order the person, you give them your keys, you sit in the passenger seat, and they drive you home to your destination. This is wild. Like imagine giving your car keys to some randomer for you to sit in the passenger seat drunk. Like back in the UK, they could just abduct you. And obviously with taxis, they're all licensed and they all go through checks and everything. But letting a stranger into your car with your keys and your address, that is just such a crazy idea. The thing is, it's not a crazy idea because it makes so much sense because it's so safe over here in Korea. But even thinking about that concept back at home, like I can't even fathom the idea. When my teacher told me, I was just like, what? That's crazy. This just emphasizes how safe Korea is. And also another thing to do with cars, like people will always leave their phone number on the dashboard. So if you ever need to contact the person in terms for the car, if they've damaged it, or they just need to get hold of someone to like move for a parking space, for example, people will gladly leave their phone numbers and everything. And I've also seen, I'm absolutely screaming, so I saw this the other day. So say if you are in a car parking space and you're parked behind the car and it's on a flat surface, most Koreans will leave their handbrakes off. Why do you leave your handbrake off, I hear you ask? This is because if someone wants to get out of the car parking space, the person that is trapped in literally pushes the car. I'm not even joking. I saw this man push this car so he could get out of his parking space because obviously he was blocked in, and everybody else was just going about their day like it was normal. And now like coming to see it, like that is obviously such a genius concept. When I first saw it, I was like, what world am I in? Like someone else is pushing someone else's car. And this just reiterates my point. Like Korean people will be there to look after one another, and you would gladly trust someone to push your car and not have it roll down a hill or bash into another car. Like I can't even like emphasize how crazy this concept is, but also at the same time, like I can't emphasize how Korean this is and how safe it is. Also, a recent research shows that by Numbeo, South Korea is actually the #1 safest country in the world out of 117 countries within the survey. And that is wild, because I think when I go to like places like Northern Europe, like Denmark or Norway or Sweden, I feel like, oh my God, I'd be so safe there, like everyone's there for each other. But no, Korea is like on a different level. And not only is Korea safe in general, the big cities such as Seoul have topped the charts as well in terms of safety rankings across the world. But yeah, overall, in terms of safety, Korea is a very safe country. Like I said, it placed #1 out of 117 countries of the safest countries in the world, and places like Seoul or Busan have ranked very highly in terms of safety. So if you are coming to Korea, obviously, please don't be too complacent because crime does happen, but just be rest assured that Korea is a very safe place. And that includes just safety for women, that includes safety for foreigners, that includes safety for basically everybody. Like, I feel very much welcomed. I feel like Koreans have got my back, I've got their back, and it works both ways. So I'm very blessed. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully it gave you a bit of an insight into how safe Korea is, and hopefully you shouldn't be too worried about coming over here. And like always, if you have any more questions to do with safety, if you want to follow my journey over here in Korea, if you want to know my life over here as an EPIK teacher, be sure to drop some comments down below. I'm more than happy to help. Give me a message on Instagram, I will gladly message you back. And obviously, if you want to see more of this content, make sure you subscribe. I hope you have a wonderful evening, I hope you have a wonderful morning, or if you're watching this in the afternoon, have a great afternoon. And I will speak to you next time on this channel. Stay safe, love you lots, adios. Bye.